Yes, 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 yes. Whosoever will may come in. If there's anything on your mind that is bothering you and you want to have a chat about it, why not? Now, let me start off by saying this is not a dating live. No, this is not a dating live. This is not a live to play games. This is not a live to take off underwear. Right? This is a live to help lift the standard of our people and to get them into a positive frame of mind. It will remain this way. It has a positive intent. Yes, we talk about pussy because we know that everything life have to offer comes from the pussy. We talk about it in a positive way, an understandable way, a very respectful way, right? We try to bring across our message, right? And I meditate a lot. I'm concerned about the way in which our people are operating. Yes, I'm speaking from Jamaica, of course, and I'm concerned about our people. When I say concerned, I mean deeply concerned of how people are behaving, and I'm talking right across the spectrum of society, from the ministers of government to the hand card pushers. Yes, I am referring to all of them, just everybody in this country. I am concerned about their behavior. How on a regular basis, the evidence are there of what I'm lying in my bed and speaking right now on this live. How many times you've heard these government officials disgrace their one another, talk various things about their one another, and a couple of days they apologize. Now these are the leaders. These are the leaders. These are the ones that they are asking us to emulate. These are the ones they are asking the children. They are role models. Yes, and they are asking us to be like them. No, if you are not properly rooted and grounded, you come up just like them and come do the same thing. Yes, their behavior, the standard they set. So I'm saying this kind of roguish behavior don't only stop at the feet of the so-called ghetto people or the so-called non-intellectual people. It is evident way up top where you would have thought the most intellectual ones are. So we are looking for them to guide us, to guide the vulnerable. But what they are asking us to do, the way they are portraying themselves, listen to them and see how them tell them one another about them parts, then apologize. If you know, say, yeah, go apologize. Why you do it? Why you do it? Why you say it in the first place? Why you didn't think it out first and think how far it would have been, it would have reached, how hurtful it's going to be to another human being, regardless of their political preference. Why that never come? We people, there has to be an outcry. There have to be a squealing. Then you going to realize that what you've done is wrong. And so much money has been spent on you to get your PhDs. So much of your parents' hard-earned cash. No, come on now. So when you behave like that, how do you expect those that are following you, the one that you're in lead, to behave? They will constantly making these mistakes as you have seen them. You said, the same thing you do up the top and said, I can get away with it scot-free, is the same thing the little man down the bottom is saying. Can you imagine in Jamaica, 1 year after that brutal killing in somewhere in Manchester and thing there, right? The whole family, right? One man slaughter a whole family. And although the perpetrator has been taken out of society, some may not please that he is still among us, believing. But it is what it is right now, and we have to just live with what it is, right? Can you imagine that incident with similarity would be still taking place in the case of the Albertown incident? That means lessons haven't been learned. That means people still believe that they can get away with things like this. I have a video on TikTok right now. Yeah, but I could not get to explain everything in that 10-minute video on TikTok. And it's on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. But with limited amount of time, I could not get in the in-depths of what I want to say. So I choose to go alive, as I could not rest in peace to see young Jamila Cole You know, don't ask me how innocent she were. Me no business with that. Right? What I clearly business with is that she's a human being, and her life should be respected by everyone. Her life should carry the same value of the Prime Minister's wife, the Governor General's wife, the DPP. Where life is concerned, that there is no borders. And those that I've mentioned, not to say they are the cost of the crime. What I'm saying, where life is concerned, everyone's life is equal and important. And that is what should have been taught right across the board. Yes, I know. I know you're gonna say it has been taught. Yes, it has been taught. Right? But how much does it meaningfully taught, and the mechanism has put in place that it has been maintained, they secure the life of everyone? Yes. And I started out this live with the behavior pattern of our leaders and the way they portray themselves as a leader doing these things, and a couple of days time the apology coming. And so often when these barbarians brutally takes out the life of someone, and on their day in court you have somebody come and ask for leniency, you have somebody come and beg for mercy because of this individual's son or daughter. How much you put into consideration the one that is suffering from your action. How much, when you're asking for leniency, right? How much you put in place what the other victims are going through. Mighty God of Kenya. So then, I personally started to wonder, I want to put it in the right perspective, because it's a very delicate society we are in, right? It marred with a lots of negativity, right? Because they practice more negative things more than positive. So making statements on platforms like these, please excuse me if you hear me choosing my words them properly, right? because I develop a tendency of think before I act. I think before I utter. And I would implore from the Governor General to the Prime Minister to the handcart pusher to adopt some of that principle. Think before you utter. There are so many things, so many times the lawmakers put in these rules and regulation, and when when the bill has passed into laws, that's when you saw the flaws. So it has to go in revisions to be reviewed, and changes have to be made. Wow. We are to bounce me for. I just the other day that look on the seat belt, the baby seat. Right? Look at needs. Look at all of these things. Right? These are intellectual people, right? That's their profession, right? And so many things has been put in place and signed off with these technocrats and these dignitaries and everything been discussing it for years and months. And when it has been tabled into law, it has to go back in revisions to be reviewed and revised. And you are not seeing that it is the same way. The little man who no followers are the same thing them a do. They reflect when they are behind bars. After they do the crime is when they reach behind bars. They reflect on what they have done. They started to revise their action. It never done before. They act. And you up there say they are stupid. You up there say they are stupid. And it's the same thing you have done. So you know what I want you to do? Think. Meditate some more. What I ask you to do, just forget some of the hype on the authority that you have, right? I'm speaking to the leaders at this point in time. Just forget some of the authorities that you have and just bring yourself to realness, the real things that matters. Not the office you hold, not the salary you get, not the prestigious way in which you are living, but the real things in life, which I'm gonna keyed with 2 words. And those 2 words is values and attitudes. values and attitudes. Your attitude means a whole lot. The way you value other people means a whole lot. It means a whole lot pertaining to the people you lead. So we see these acts of barbarism, these acts of blatant killing, is a trust of a system that they have confidence in that they will get away. They trust themselves that they can beat any system you set up here. They trust themselves that way. They trust themselves to be more brighter than the lawmakers, the enforcers of the law. They trusted themselves because of how you are portraying yourself to them. Any system you set up there, Jamaica, I set up the camera there, right? Blatantly, they move in whether camera is there or not. The young 9-year-old still cannot be found. Amanda Dean still cannot be found. The one from the university there, the retarded girl, and many more, right? The young Miss Body cannot be found, right? So it's a system which the underworld have confidence in. Because of your portrayals to speak right and do wrong. To speak right, but yet around the corner, wrongs have been done. So that's why the key words is values and attitudes. When you have a 61st independence celebration and everybody in the stadium is singing, me a mad out. And it makes big headline around the world. To the most intellectual people of the world, with a negative caption, me a mad out. And the authorities were there rocking. Some of them were clapping. And a couple of days after, a couple of young men choose to go an act of barbarism and snuffed out a 15-year-old life, threatened to get rid of the family. Mm. So you're going to tell me that values and attitudes aren't important? Hmm? You're going to tell me that another artist isn't around the corner there, want to go on the grand gala, but him have to have the most talked about song in a country where negativeness is favored. Me no business, you know. Me a chat because me set up all night and looking at the situation and look at where Jamaica is and look at where it is coming from. And when in the 60s, when I was growing up, in the 70s, it weren't like this. So if you are one of those who are comfortable with a beer bottle or a cup with rum and boom and little Molly in it, and you floss and you endorse while the innocents are dying, that's not me. That is not me. That is not me. I cannot be comfortable and seeing these things happening around me. So I must laid here and started to think of solution to advise the authorities because they make so much mistake. They have to apologize so many times. So many times they said things and have to apologize. So the underworld look at them as what? Me not gonna say it. Me not gonna say it. Me not gonna say it. But you just look at what the onlookers, the underworld, is saying about you, the leaders, when you act in those manner. To the tune that you have to be every day you hear a minister of government or someone in high authority apologizing for statements they made, for things they do, money they rob. Mm, mm. So the underworld trusted the system, right? The underworld trust this system. Quite sure, not sure that people want to really involve in these conversations because I strike hard, right? Right? I strike hard, so needless. When I saw you send the request, I know some of you want to get me off track, want to play games, right? Right, want gifts and roses. My gifts and roses that I'm looking is the right attitude of our people so that the next generation can can start to save their life. Instead, they are killing off their one another. They becomes a system guns against their one another. Right? That is my concern. That is the gift I want to see. That is the millions I want right now. Right? I want as much so I can be fed, and I can, when I go on the street, I can smell good and look good. Right? Right? I don't want the millions to further mad me out with mollies and follies. Right? That I can in a position to buy the material that will turn the whole place on its head. No. Right? To speak derogative things of our female, what you want to do with them or what you do with them. When I look on social media, every other video you see, look, the most commonest thing on social media is an underwear pulling down on on camera, on camera, right? Now tell me something. What message that is sending to the young people? You are showcasing underwear. When I was a lad growing, we have to see underwear on lines when they are pinned out. We couldn't dare see them when the person have them on, right? We were not privileged unless we were of age and removing them. Today, the most private parts of the female are shown on these devices. Their most secret part that will bring jealousy, wants, and anxiety to the fragile society. Those are not the things that are curtailed on these devices, is what I said. They filtered, banned, shadow banned, and curtailed. Yeah. In a society like this, every scroll, you see a female underwear felon coming off. You scroll again, you see two male kissing in a compromising position, two female making love. Yeah. Those actions are not curtailed, shadow banned, or suspended. Those perpetrators. But what Taichika said, I have to be careful because I will be shadow banned. I will be marginalized. I will be penalized for trying to set a positive tone, a positive way of life. why money has been concealed. I do security work for many, many years. Work at the bank, and we know that if you conceal money, it will less attractive. So you're carrying out large amount of cash. You conceal it. Take it out of the eyes of the public so that it doesn't encourages robbers. You secured it that way. Now, ladies, if you continue to show your underneath on cameras along with your face, you are putting yourself in real danger, just in case you did not know. I'm speaking especially in Jamaica here. Yes, in Jamaica here. Yeah. Uh, yeah, I cannot speak for other countries because I haven't been there. I travel once to Trinidad, never gone anywhere else. Yeah. Right? So I have to speak specifically of Jamaica, Jamaican female. Right? I noticed that dress or pants don't wear go to parties again. I do believe that bath suit wear at the beaches. But me know say not the party them they know. Yeah. Or is it the authority make their work so hard that they have to be putting their most private parts on the shelf for it to be sold so that they can meet their daily demands? Why madness, sadness, badness, roughness, wickedness, cunniness are the order of the day? Listen them, check them out. You have to be bad, you have to be mad, you have to be wicked, you have to be what they call it, murderer, sickhead in this country. I wonder if I not check the levels or when we are check. I wonder if I not see the things the way I'm seeing it. I wonder if I not all concerned the way I am concerned. Yeah, somebody right now, go hear them a cuss out the backside. You know nothing to do. Go get a woman. Go this, go get that. Right? You know who are saying those things? Those that it hurts, the perpetrators, the beneficiaries of all of these insensitivity, this stupidity. the beneficiaries, the contributors, they are the one that's saying it. They are the one that's saying it. Yes, the guilty ones, the beneficiaries of these things are saying it. It is now summer. A lot of young people leave school just about to sort out their lives. And you have predators out there waiting for them. You have manipulators out there just waiting for them, like, three slips and a gully on the cricket field. Yes, you have predators out there waiting for them, and they baited them with cash, money, danglings in front of their eyes they are not yet accustomed to, but sat there and watch, and they are carving in their mind how they want the best settee, the biggest phone, take their parents out of the slum. What they will have to do and mark you. A lot of them has good intention, but those that have the good intention is going to be marginalized. Those that going to show a certain level of dignity, have a certain level of dignity within themselves, they are the one who are going to be marginalized. But the one that flighty, right, right, and will accept everything for anything or anything for everything, they are the one that they will promote. They will drop their catches in the slips, or they won't drop those catches. They will caught them in the slips, because that's why the three slips and the gully is set up there. As you edges the ball, the wicket keeper on the three slips and the gully gobble you up, and they are there for the vulnerables, young people. They love who know the future, but if you do not take heed, you are going to fail. If you do not listen to the elders, then you're not going to feed. Listen to no parents, some young people. Parents are not equipped with the necessary knowledge and ability to guide you. So from a young age, you're let loose. Yeah, you are my biggest concern, the young people. Let's see if anyone want to join in this conversation with me. Let's see if anyone agrees with what I am saying would want to participate in the conversation, and if they will allow anyone to participate in the conversation as according to the governance of social media. Right? I do believe if I were bashing people, talking people's business, the support would be much stronger. But I'll take this opportunity to say these things, and I hope the things that I am saying now, later on, it will be of some help to some young people, because I will always try to have them in a position where you can hear what I was saying, that when you find yourself into situation, you can remember that this white beard man did say it. This ugly looking man laid down in a little room did say it. The best thing to step out with now that you just leave school is values and your attitudes. Pay enough attention to your values. Value yourself. Value every part of your body, including your eyes, your nose, your fingers, your tongue, your vagina, your rectum. Value them. And when you value them, your attitude towards life will improve. Value them. Values and attitudes. A better attitude of our people can change the nation. Valuing life can save it. The one that snuffed people's lives out of them, it's because they have no value for life. If you go on the street and people are warring up on cement, the first thing you hear them say, may we kill you in a boy, may we kill you in a girl. The devaluing of life. They don't believe that they can reason about the cement and settle it without the extreme of taking somebody's life because they don't value it. Why you don't send a likes for me? Because you don't value what I am saying. What I'm saying doesn't mean nothing to you, or you don't like it, or you don't appreciate it. As the mere fact that I'm enlightening you on something, why it is not being supported. You never check it. You understand? over on another live now and see how many of you over there supporting the dropping of the underwear, right? The sexual brutality, the sexual immoralities, right? Because that's the intention. That's where the country is tagging homosexuality, sexual brutality, immoralities, right? That's where the country is tagging. Yeah. So I'm going the other way. So it's not gonna get more support. I'm like John the Baptist, the lone voice in the wilderness. If I'm the only man with pants on waist, me not follow nobody. Me keep my pants on my waist, me not follow nobody. Nobody. I will forever be who I am. I brand myself as the pussy man because I am a positive person. Pussy suggests positivity, which is life. So I'm a pussy man. I'm a man of the living and not the dead. So I will look to see once again. Anybody is agreeing with me? The only thing I can tell you to do, again, value your life, and your attitude will improve. Young people, you may have looks, you may have shape, but it is clear that you don't have the experience. And you are targeted. So, my advice to you, look carefully before you move. Think wisely before you decide it. It's not every invitation you ought to accept. Why? Because it's not all that glitter is gold. Some people will come here and tell you about foreign, and you'd look and said foreign is the greatest thing, or foreign is not like Jamaica. But if you go to foreign, you see madman on the street. You see beggars, you see scammers, you see sufferers. Same way. Right? So that's why experience is so important. So if you just listen and you just gravitate onto everything you hear, you are making yourself vulnerable. If you jump into every style that you see, not knowing the origin, right? You're making yourself vulnerable for destruction. You see, like how you look on the milk box for the expiry date. Some of that just that some people can look on. Just that they observe expiry date. And when this expired, to show their intelligence. But they do not look at what is the bait that is setting out there for them with money, blings, and material things. Right? You're looking at expiry date. And the Bible says it's not what you eat and drink defiles your body. So while you're paying attention to expiry date because you don't want to drink or eat anything that the date expired, but you will accept an invitation to Negril, to an individual you don't even know. You only see his profile. You have only seen his profile, but you don't drink the milk that is outdated that day because you are so strict. But the CEO of the milk company invited you to Negril and you don't know him. But you're gone. Why is my wise and open up? I may do it free of cost. Cause not even likes. Not even the right and tapping up the screen. I want likes to go up and I have to like myself. See it? You can do that too. See it? You can send up likes to myself. Because I like what I am doing. I certainly like what I am doing. And I'm agreeing with myself. Yeah. I'm agreeing with myself. I have confidence in myself that what I am doing can help the next generation. So I'm supporting myself. I saw the government have a program named LIFT, which is a very, very good program, I thought. The little that I've learned of it so far for people that just leave school. How will it run? I do not know. If it will be marred by political victimization, or I don't know. But the initial stage is of it, how it sounds on paper. It sounds very, very interesting, and that would alleviate some of the problems or some of the danger that I suggest before, right? Because occupation of your mind, your hands, and yourself when you leave school, it will alleviate some of the problem. You wouldn't have time to turn another direction, because as you leave school, you'll be placed into um, a form of growing yourself. Now, instead of you have to go out there on your own initiative with your vulnerable self, no experience, right? And to go out there, a lot of people fall down at these stages and don't get up back. They are led into prostitution, they are led into homosexuality, they are led into scamming, drugsism, and all of those things at this stage when they just leave school. So if the government can set up a program to catch them, right, then it would be better. But what I suspect will happen, the underworld will, it is going to be now a competition between the good and the bad. Yes, there's going to be a competition there, because there's the underworld that gonna show them a more lucrative scheme, a much more easier scheme to get into. As you see, a certain group out here is doing right now to capitalize on the young people making things. What the underworld is now doing is watching to see how this lift is gonna work. Then they design something similar to that, but with a more lucrative payout. Yeah. And a nonsense may attack, a facts may attack, and the evidence is there. Look at the teachers. If the government, the police officers, government workers, it may not be an underworld, but overseas, offering them more, the skilled workers, offering them more, and because it need more, they leave the shores for it. Yes. So with lift, don't believe it's going to be a one-way thing. The underworld is eyeing it, and lucrative offer, much more attractive than what government is going to offer to them. Because they want to captivate them. Because certainly will alleviate a lot of the unoccupied hands on the street. So it's going to be a competition who catch them first. They don't want to involve into discussion like this. This discussion is too rich, man. We don't want to involve in the panty dropping off and the man kissing the man on the screen, right? And who is this and who is that, and who are mad out from who are sad out. Them the conversation they don't want. Them the conversation they want to support. They don't support conversation like this. No. You don't show appreciation to something like this. No, not at all. But I will continue to waste my time and recorded it, that someday, somehow, it becomes a thorn in your flesh. 19 minutes after 4. I'm Tychicus, your revelator. Have a good morning.